Very good morning, friends. I hope you're all doing safe and healthy. Well, I have started back my series on Did You Know? And in the previous video, I was talking in terms of the Schedule 3 Division 2, wherein we had inputs with regard to the point number 13 as well as the point number 14 in the profit and loss and the OCI section of the income statement. Well, in today's video, I'm going to give you a little more insight, especially on the point number 14, where we've got two parts. One is 14A and one is 14B, dealing with the concept of recycling and the concept of no recycling. Let's find this out in detail. अनअकैडमी पर मैं आपके साथ लेके आ रहा हूं सीए फाइनल फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग की आरटीपीज की डिस्कशन। इन आरटीपीज के अंदर हम शुरू करेंगे लेटेस्ट आरटीपी से, आरटीपी मई 21, और बैकवर्ड जाएंगे जिसके अंदर आरटीपी 18 तक पीछे जाएंगे। तो इसका मतलब हम लीफो बेसिस के अंदर आपके साथ आरटीपी की डिस्कशन करेंगे और ये क्लासेस आपके लिए बिल्कुल फ्री हैं। आप इन क्लासेस को वॉच कर सकते हैं, अनअकैडमी की ऐप डाउनलोड कर लीजिए और इन क्लासेस का डिस्क्रिप्शन आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स के अंदर मिलेगा। लिंक आप क्लिक करके आप इन क्लासेस को वॉच कर सकते हैं। मेरा कोड इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं CAKB10। मंडे टू फ्राइडे ये क्लासेस होंगी और टाइमिंग्स इनका रहेगा 4 PM to 5 PM। तो आइए, लेट्स क्रैक इट। Well, you can see a chart where I have made a comparison in terms of the point number 13 as well as in terms of point number 14A and 14B. Now, let me first of all make one clarification to you. When I'm looking in terms of point number 13, it is the profit or loss for the period without taking the other comprehensive income. The point number 14 is considering the other comprehensive income section, which has got two portions. One is called 14A, which is supposed to be with no recycling. And one is 14B, which is supposed to be considering a recycling. Now, let's see that when you take the items in the other comprehensive income section, that is 14A and 14B, when does it impact the profit for the year and when does it impact the earning per share of the year? So what I've done, I made a comparison again of 4 places. In the previous video, we were looking in terms of point number 13, in terms of point number 14 as well as SOKE. So in this particular video, we're going to look at point number 13. We're going to split that point number 14 in 14A and B and in terms of SOKE. So when does the profit get affected? If you consider any item in the calculation of point number 13, is the profit loss for the year get affected? Yes. Even if you take it in point number 14A or B, the current year profit gets affected because the total comprehensive income is a sum total of that point number 13 as well as 14A and B. So whether you take it to point number 13 or you take it to the other comprehensive income, the profits for the year are certainly affected. But when you take it in the statement of changes in equity, the profits for the year are not affected. But what is the impact on the earning per share? Now, this is something interesting to watch. Can I say if you take an item in the point number 13, the earning per share of this year is affected, not for the future year. So the profit of the current year gets affected, the earning per share of the current year gets affected. But when you look at the point number 14A, which is no recycling, you can say it gets totally insulated from the earning per share. Neither the earning per share of this year, the current year, gets affected, nor the earning per share of the future years is affected. But when you take it to the point number 14B, in that particular case, the earning per share of the current year is not affected. But once it is a reclassification adjustment in the future year, then in that particular case, it would impact the earning per share as well. It would also impact the profits for that year as well. Because when you're going to make a reclassification adjustment and which is going to be recycled through the profit and loss account, it is going to impact the profits for that particular subsequent year as well as the earning per share of the year. So we can see something very interesting indeed. If you take something to the point number 13, I'm looking at the EPS impact. The EPS of the current year is affected, not for the future year. When you take it to the point number 14a, EPS is totally insulated. It's like a COVID vaccination against the EPS vaccination, and it doesn't get impacted at all. When you take it to point number 14b, the EPS of this year, current year, is unaffected, but it impacts the year EPS of the next year, maybe in the future year, when a derecognition takes place. And when you take it to the statement of changes in equity, in that particular case, of course, there is no impact in terms of EPS either for the current year or for the future year. So you can see a comparative analysis in terms of incomes, expenses which are taken in 13, 14A, 14B, as well as the statement of changes in equity. Just a clarification note with reference to the items which are taken in 14B, which has got a recycling concept. Remember, the future year profit gets affected when the cumulative amount which is standing in the statement of changes in equity is recycled to the P&L as a part of the reclassification adjustment in the year of derecognition, which means that the profits will get affected in the future year. So, sir, does this mean that we are indirectly counting the item twice in terms of profitability? Yes. In one particular year, you're taking it in the other comprehensive income, and in a subsequent year of derecognition, you are taking it to the profit and loss section. So which means the profits of 2 years get affected because of the same item. But in the first year, when you take it to the point number 14, the EPS is not affected. But in the subsequent years, the earning per share also gets affected. The profit also gets affected. Isn't that something interesting? So that's all in this particular video. Some more Did You Know series coming in this particular month. Thank you, take care, and bye-bye.